Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started here. My name is Dwayne Deason. I'm the Executive Director of the National Cost Control Standards Board, which I'll sometimes refer to as the NCCSB. Today's presentation will be broken up into two parts. The first part is a general introduction to the NCCSB, and I'll try to move a little bit rapidly through that section in order to, since I know many of you are probably already familiar with our organization. The second part of the presentation will be about the certification and upcoming training requirement changes, and we will be having a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. First, a little bit about the NCCSB. We are a cost management association. We support individuals and businesses that are in the field of cost management. Up until the end of last year, our primary role was to offer 2 certifications and administer those certifications. At the beginning of this year, we started offering full membership services, and anyone who is certified is automatically considered a member, and it just has more functionality, and we'll go into that on the next slide. And then let me also introduce myself. My name again is Dwayne Deason. I'm the Executive Director. I've started this position in January of this year. I'm a CPA. I am an MBA from Georgetown. And I generally provide a lot of cost management training. I did that before I took this position. I still provide that training, and that's in fact how I got introduced to the organization. Let's talk about a little bit of the membership benefits that we started launching at the beginning of this year. Our entire website and new membership services are really designed to help people network, because networking is an issue within our field of cost management. Because many organizations have just one or two people dedicated to cost management, and it is really helpful to have a wider network than that in order to ask questions and support each other's efforts. The website also promotes business and career development, provides a variety of variety of industry resource information, and I think has a very robust forum. I encourage you to check out the forum. It basically allows any individual to submit a question. We do screen the question to make sure it's applicable to cost management, and allows any member to answer that question. And if you go to the forum, I think you'll see some very interesting information on that. Talk about our certifications for a moment here. Our certification, our probably best known certification, is the Certified Cost Control Professional. That is our original and oldest certification. We have a slightly more junior certification, which is called the Certified Cost Analyst. And finally, we also offer a certification that is probably not applicable to anyone on this webinar because it is a Certified Cost Control Authorized Education Center, and it relates more to organizations that want to provide cost management training. Some benefits of our certification: I believe we are one of the best nationally recognized certifications in the field of cost management. And that's a pretty bold statement. And the reason I believe that is that we offer a general expertise in the field of cost management. So we are our certification, our individuals that are certified are better rounded, I believe, than some of the other certifications. The other certifications I see out there are specific to industries. I see certifications relating to healthcare, to manufacturing and construction, but I think ours is more broad than that, and I think it's just more widely accepted. It is obviously a designation of expertise in the field of cost management. It does promote career advancement, and it helps you connect with other professionals in the field, and as I mentioned, that can be very helpful. Let me talk about the certification requirements as they exist today. As you'll see, for the Certified Cost Analyst and the Certified Cost Control Professional, the training and continued CPE is identical for the two as of today for both those certifications. The biggest difference to become a Certified Cost Control Professional, you have to submit a practicum, and this practicum is usually, I would say, the ones I see are average of 5 to 10 pages. They detail out the experience that an individual has in the field of cost management, and it discusses actual projects they're on, the methodologies they used, the outcome, their particular role in those efforts, and oftentimes there is an interview process that I or other members of the organization will actually talk to the individual and review the practicum with them and ask questions related to the experience set forth in the practicum. The other big difference is the 3-year requirement for experience. And This is not just professional experience. You have to have 3 years of cost management experience to qualify for the Certified Cost Control Professional. If there's ever any question whether you have experience and you would meet that qualification, all you have to do is just contact the NCCSB and we'll discuss that experience with you and give you our feelings on that. Let's talk about some of the upcoming changes to the certification requirements. Effective January 1st of next year, we will be requiring 80 hours instead of 40 hours in education. And furthermore, before, the 40 hours was much more general, where you could get that from almost any source as long as it was specific to cost management. Now we are setting forth a structure, if you will, for those 80 hours. The first 6 hours will be a self-study education, which is an introduction to cost management that will be issued and sponsored by the NCCSB. Then the next 2 training segments will be in a classroom setting. One will be on financial cost management, and that will cover things like pricing, contracts, negotiations, consumption of services and products, policies and procedures, a lot of things that I generally believe fall under the financial cost management title. And then the next segment will be on cost engineering, which is what I think a lot of you have heard about as traditional, maybe Six Sigma type of courses. The reason we want that to be a classroom setting is that we do believe that classroom environment promotes getting to know other people within the field, and we believe that is an important segment of this. Then finally, the next we'll have is 24 hours of electives. These 24 hours of electives, the reason we have these electives is essentially, and we have no directive on that, because we want you to be able to select an industry experience if you want to have that. So if you have a particular industry that you want to get more training in, whether it be healthcare or manufacturing or construction or telecom or anything is your industry, we wanted to allow you to have a little bit of an expertise in that particular field. And finally, we will have a 2-hour self-study class that is on the our own code of conduct. Here, before we open it up to general Q&A, I'm going to have some common questions here that we've already fielded, and I'll just go ahead and answer those right now. First of all, will our training have to be through authorized training partners, meaning that does the NCCSB have to authorize a certain class for you to take it and qualify for our certification? And the answer is no, and that has always been the case, where if you find a training class that it relates to cost management and we may have not certified that class yet, you may take that class. Now, I highly encourage you to check with us to make sure that we believe that the curriculum is applicable to us. So before taking any class that is not authorized by us, I do think that you ought to check with us. But we are relatively lenient in that way, as long as the course is focused on cost management. The next question we get a lot is that if you take the training by 1/1/2012, will you be grandfathered in, and meaning you won't have to qualify even if you apply next year for certification? And the answer is no. If you submit your application next year, you will be required to have the 80 hours. So if you want to essentially beat the new training requirements, then you have to submit your application by 1/1/2012. Now, it doesn't have to be approved by that date, but it has to be dated and submitted prior to 1/1/2012. Training waivers. On rare circumstances, our organization has waived some training, and in fact, in some cases, all training required for certification. But I want to make sure people realize this is for only people that are experts in the field of cost management. So in the circumstance that we have a 20-year professional who has done the cost management work for an entire career and is basically qualified to teach these courses, we do not see the benefit in asking those people to sit down and take our classes as well. So we do, in rare cases, and that's a case-by-case situation, waive some classes. If you, again, have any questions whether you may qualify for that, we encourage you to contact us and talk to us individually. Finally, will we now start instituting exams for our certification? We do not have exams for our certification. We have the practicum. We plan to stay with that methodology for now. We believe a practicum gives us a better picture of what someone's experience is rather than an exam. Some of the self-studies will have open book, take-home exams, but we will not have any sort of closed book, comprehensive exam. We will only have the practicum for the certified cost control professional. Okay. Before I go open up for general Q&A, I did want to make an offer to people that are on this line that we do have an upcoming course, a beta course, upcoming next month. And the reason I wanted to highlight that, and I am actually the instructor for that course, is that if you are looking for an inexpensive way to become certified, this is probably the best way to do that. Essentially, the only aspect of why this is a beta course is because we roll forward cases every year. So that each cases have a lot of dates associated with those case studies, and because we change probably 1,000 or more dates, that we do want to test those cases before we put them out to live courses. The cases in this next class, all the cases will be tested cases, and from last year, and very well regarded cases, with the exception of one. I'm putting out a new case. So you are basically getting the same course that will be taught to everybody else, and we often do have very few mistakes. So you're going to get the same course just at half the price that you would if you enroll after June. So I just want to make sure if you're interested in that, this is a particularly interesting opportunity. And you can email the registrar at i4costmanagement.org to enroll in that course, and you can also send us general questions if you have about that, and we can put you in connection with the right people. One thing I'll also mention is that for this course, as in all of our courses, or I can't say all of them, but generally all of our courses do qualify for CPE credits for CPAs. This organization that's sponsoring this class is NASBA approved. Now I'm going to open up for general questions. So you are free to type in questions if you like. I do see actually a couple of questions that have already come up. The first question I see is that someone says that I am a CPA. How will the certification help me? Well, let me rant about that for just a moment, because I'm a CPA as well. And one of the beefs I have with CPAs, I mean, we get great training on audit and tax and general GAAP rules, but I do see a lot of CPAs kind of tapped to do cost management training, and within the CPA training and study, there really isn't a lot of cost management experience. We do have something called cost accounting. That's more to try to stipulate how much a product or service might cost. But to have what I consider true cost management training, there's very little in the that CPAs get. So I do think this adds a whole new element to what a CPA can offer. So I highly encourage you. I am a CPA and a certified cost control professional, so obviously I'm a believer. I do see one other question coming in here. How do CPAs? Okay, I think the question is how does CPE credits cross over between the certified cost control professional continuing education requirement and that of the CPAs? Generally, most of the cost management courses that also will qualify for CPE. So I do not believe that this will add to a CPA's burden for their CPA requirement. I think it's 40 hours, or I think it's 120 hours every 3 years. I believe you will be able to get also your C3, your certified cost control professional experience also within that same CPE. So I don't think it'll add to your CPE burden. Okay. Well, I don't see another question coming over, and so that will make this the end of the presentation. I do appreciate your time today. Please, if you think of any questions or have any or want to contact us afterwards, please, you're free to contact us at info@nccSB.org, or just go to our website, and I encourage you to check out our new member services. Thank you so much, and we'll sign off.